Hi, welcome back. So in this video, we are going to be looking at actually using some external fonts. We've looked at fonts and text and we know how to manipulate it now, but we don't actually know the one crucial piece, which is using external fonts. So your computer will most likely come preloaded with a bunch of different fonts. If you use things like Microsoft Word or maybe Google Docs, things like that, they all come with preloaded fonts. And although Google Docs technically isn't on your computer, we'll just leave it in there for now. So obviously we have a lot of fonts to choose from in CSS, but first of all, how do we actually know which fonts to use? And what if we don't have the font? I mean, maybe it doesn't come with our computer. How are we supposed to get it? Well, the first thing that I would recommend doing is going and getting fonts from the internet. Now, if you don't already know this, most people would think that, the fonts that you have are set for life, you can't download anymore. Well, fonts are actually a huge growing industry, and there are so many different fonts out there that you can use, and you can even make your own. So there's obviously a lot more fonts to choose them than what's provided on your computer. So in this video, I'm going to be teaching you how to go and find your own fonts, and then in the next video, we're going to be including it into our project. So the first source I'm going to recommend here, which is actually the only source, but it's called Google Fonts. It was put together by Google, and it's a collection of 915 font families. So you can see we have a bunch of different fonts here. And when I say font families, just think fonts, default, because when you think of it as a family, you would think there's multiple fonts, but there's actually only one, and then you can change the bolding and other settings. We'll go over that a little bit later in this video. So you can head over to this. I've linked it in the lecture resources, or you can just copy the link here from the video, and it's going to take you to this site. So there's actually 915 families on this site, which is a lot to choose from. Now you can see that there are even, things in different languages. There's all sorts of different styles, maybe from different general families. So this could be from, a sans serif family. This could be from a serif family. So you can see that there are so many different choices that you can use. And depending on what type of website you want to create, you can actually choose the fonts that you want. So I'm going to actually go through now and start picking some fonts. So what I would recommend is just go through and look at the many different fonts you have here. So for example, I think this is a very nice font. So what I'm going to do is just go ahead and click this plus icon. And what it's going to do here, it says there's one family selected, right? If you open it up, you can see that our font has been selected. Now we're going to work on embedding this in the next video, but for now, I just want to leave it like this. So you can see that we can actually go ahead and customize our font now. So for example, if I wanted to choose some different bolding, so for example, you can see this is a font weight of 100 and this is a font weight of 900. So you can select as many as you want, but you can see that we actually have a load time here. So the reason that this is given is because we are including this from the internet, obviously. So if you try to pull too many resources from the internet or from, outside of your local machine, it's going to really slow down the load time of your website, because obviously it's not instantaneous. You need to send over requests, and there's a whole lot that goes behind. So what I would recommend is not trying to select every single one of these weights. Only select the ones that you think you're going to need. So for example, for now, I'm just going to select the regular and the bold. Now I don't want any italics, so I'm just going to exclude this, and you can see that our load time is fast, so we're okay. So you can see that apart from our boldings, we can actually select some of the stuff from here. So instead of having to go into our selection, we can actually just go and straight select it from here. We can also change the size if we wanted to, and then we can click the plus icon. So you can go ahead and play around with those when you include your own fonts. But for now, I think I'm just going to go with the default size and just add a bolded. So now I'm going to go ahead and actually include a second font, because it's pretty common in web development and web design to include at least two fonts, maybe one for headings and one for text. So I'm going to go ahead and find something that kind of fits in with the Lato font that we have here. I'm going to just select it back to the default size. So I'm going to try and find something that kind of matches this. It doesn't have to be obviously exactly the same. It can just be something that, kind of fits in with the theme, or makes the website look good, kind of complements the other font. So I think this is good. It's actually serif, so I'm not going to use it. You can see those lines there. I'm looking for a sans serif font. Let me see. So I think this is a pretty good font. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and add this as well. Just click on that plus icon. And now we can actually customize both fonts. So I'm going to go ahead and add that bold 700 as well. You can see that the load time is moderate now because of course we're including more than one font, but we don't need to worry about that too much. So there we go. We have that set up now. So there we go. That's pretty much it for Google Fonts and using all these different fonts. Now you can go ahead and customize it, choose whatever makes your website look good, or maybe whatever you want. But just make sure that you choose a font that really works with your website well, and make sure you don't include too many different weights so you can keep the load time within Bay. So in the next video, we're actually going to go through and start importing this into our website. And I'm going to teach you some really good fail-safe tricks in case Google Fonts fails. All right, let's move on.